woman to woman, girl to girl in your early 20s, if there's one thing I can tell you that I'm realizing, and I'm happy that I am young and I'm catching this drift right now.
Your 20s are for you. Your 20s is the beginning of the best years in your life. You do not have to have everything figured out. You do not have to have the perfect plan in your 20s. Just live your life. Just live for you. Just make sure you are happy. Just live your life. Have fun. Hi besties, welcome back to the channel. Please do not forget to like the video and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Very important. Subscribe please. And drop your thoughts in the comment section. Today's video is all about learning. We are going to be learning things that older women have learned in their 20s or mistakes they made in their 20s, so that those of us that are still in our 20s or are about to enter our 20s don't make those same mistakes.
Focus on yourself. Focus on your passions. Focus on your career. I've given my blood, sweat, tears, soul to relationships and guys since I was 14 years old. That sounds so bad. I'm truly a lover girl at heart. I love love. I love loving. I love receiving love. Love is just beautiful. Love make the world go round. If you don't detach yourself from this until you have gotten yourself stable and financially good, mentally good, physically good, it will literally destroy your life. I almost didn't graduate high school. Till this day, bitch, I struggle. I still struggle. Don't let my ass fool you. But one thing that I am not struggling on is focusing on me and putting myself first. I'm gonna be doing what I gotta do. Whether I'm sad, whether I'm angry, it don't matter. I'm still gonna be showing up to the gym. I'm still gonna show up to school. I'm still gonna work through it all, through the pain. Don't give up on yourself. Keep going. Do what you gotta do. Do not let these emotions, girls, we are so emotional. We are sensitive, and I get that. Take a few minutes to cry, but that's it. This is literally one of the most important years of our life because we are building our foundation. We are planting our seeds. If you let these relationships and you let these guys distract you, then when you're 30, when you're 40, which I understand this happens to a lot of women, I'm not saying it's bad, wouldn't you want to have it figured out earlier and not figure it out and go through so much pain 20 years down along the line? No, it's now. So if you don't put yourself first, then who will?
The biggest mistake people in their 20s are making, they're trying so hard to find love. Don't get me wrong, love is great. It feels great when you find somebody. However, your 20s are made for you to get to know who you are. Learn about yourself, travel, explore the world. And then one day when you're gonna be so happy with who you are and you're gonna be so content with your life, the right person is gonna come into your life that's gonna match that energy.
3 things I've been struggling with in my early 20s. Number 1, constantly doubting myself. My self-confidence has been in the trash. And I became a mom at 24, so my body changing? Oh my God, girl. Self-confidence, trash. But number 2, trying to pour into others from an empty cup. I love languages, doing things for other people, but you have to literally pour that same energy into yourself or your cup will runneth dry. But number 3, I don't have parents. I don't have a relationship with the parents that are alive. So raising myself in my 20s and trying to raise another human being, that has innately made my 20s a lot more challenging than they should have been. So if you spent your 20s surrounded by a loving and supportive family, please don't ever take that for granted.
Here are 3 things that I wish I knew in my 20s now that I'm 40. Randomly, off the top of my head, while I eat this sandwich and chat to you guys. Okay, number 1, nothing really matters. Nothing really matters at all. And I know when I say this, you're like, I've heard that a million times. Nothing really matters. Yeah, blah, blah. But I don't even know how to emphasize how much I really mean that nothing matters. Nothing matters in the sense that we're all gonna die. No one's getting out of here alive. So when it comes to making your choices in life, whether they are big, whether they are small, just remember that nobody's gonna live forever. We're all gonna die. So the opinion of whoever doesn't matter. And I know people say this all the time, but I don't think people really grasp the depth of what that means. So I just want you to pause the video, meditate on it for 30 seconds, okay, and think, I am fucking minuscule on planet Earth, okay? Nothing matters. Nothing. Okay, number 2, if you are feeling behind in life, I get this question a lot on my lives. People are like, I'm 20, I feel behind. Behind whom? Behind what? Societal benchmarks for our lives? Guys, they don't matter. They don't matter. Nobody actually ever knows what they're doing in this life. Nobody ever reaches a point where they're like, I'm ready to die now. Okay, maybe, but not really. Do you know what I'm saying? The average person changes their career multiple times now, whereas before, Dad just got a job at the Ford factory and he lived there till the day he died. So we're in a much better place now, okay? If you're feeling behind, just ask yourself, behind whom? Behind what? Because what I can tell you is in my life, there have been times when I felt really, really behind my peers, like people that I actually know. And then a few years later, I was like, holy shit, I've surpassed them. And what I realized is we're not competing against each other. Like, this isn't a race to a certain point. We're just on our own individual journeys in our own little realities. And I think once you realize that and once you accept that, you no longer feel like you're behind. And last but not least, become financially literate, especially if you are a woman. Become financially literate. I was married in my early 20s and I had no control over our finances, and it really sucked. I remember I used to have to hide cash in a sock and put it in my sock drawer. And it wasn't until my early 30s that I actually became financially literate. I wasn't taught that stuff as a kid. I didn't really know and had to teach myself literally on YouTube. So I would say if I could go back to my 20s, I would become financially literate a lot sooner. I think it would have saved myself a lot of pain in my 20s and my 30s. Anyways, those are my 3 tips. If you're in your early 20s, remember, nothing fucking matters. Nothing. Okay, go have a blessed day. Bye.
Young, beautiful girl, this is what I want you to do in your 20s. This is what I want you to do in your 20s. In your 20s, I want you to prioritize yourself. I want you to have friends that are outside of your profession. Have friends that work at a bank. Have friends that are pursuing law degrees. Have friends that work in healthcare. Keep your circle different. I want you to never loan a man money. I don't want you to give him money. If he's not your husband, I don't want you giving him $1. Every penny that you earn, you keep for yourself. You give it towards your family. I don't want you giving it to a man. I want you to notice those red flags in your partner or in a potential partner, and I want you to validate them. I don't want you to go through them. I don't want you to go through them twice. Validate them. Be okay with moving on. Be okay with being lonely.
Advice for women under 25 from a woman that is over 25. You cannot be friends with a woman that wants to be you. Start implementing lymphatic massage as often as you can, okay? Gut health is very important. Find whatever color makes you happiest and surround yourself with as much of it as possible. Go where you are loved and bring love wherever you go. Consuming honey from local bees can help reduce your allergy symptoms for the season. Sucking in your stomach can damage your pelvic floor. Relax. Hyperindependence is a trauma response, okay? It's okay to need help. When you're on your period, keeping your feet warm can help ease a lot of discomfort. Warm feet, warm womb. Don't be scared to shoot your friendship shot. Community is important. Learning how to do face yoga can help prevent fine lines and wrinkles. Learn now that everything is a lesson. Literally everything. If you have PCOS, spearmint tea can help ease a lot of discomfort that comes with that. The sooner that you learn that people are experiences and not possessions, your life will get a lot easier. If you have any other tidbits for these young 20-somethings, then by all means, stitch this video.
If you are under the age of 25, I need you to sit and be sat while I say something right now. No man is worth lowering your standards for. You will watch some people get what they thought they wanted, but really they were settling. No permanent life decisions before the age of 25. Your brain is going to change, and so will you, and you might not like those decisions that you made. The habit of saving money is much more important than the actual amount. If you don't know how to manage a little bit of money, you won't know how to manage a lot. Double cleanse your face at night and wear sunscreen during the day. Yes, even in winter. If you don't consult a lawyer before you get married, then your prenup is automatically decided by whatever state you live in. Getting older as a woman is actually the best thing ever. You get smarter, you get richer, you get wiser. Your 20s are not the peak of your life. How he treats you is how he'll treat your daughter. So ask yourself if that's good enough. And don't be afraid to dream big. If somebody's judging you for what you want to do, then they're probably a loser. Love you, bye.
It's just on my heart to say this. If you are young, like you're in college, 18 to 22, in that stage, try everything. Anything you want to do, try it. If you don't know what you want to do in life, Just go wherever your interests take you. If that's 10 things, try all 10 things. Trust me, you're going to start narrowing things down as you start to learn what things are about. Take a class, join a club at your school if there is one. Start a club at your school if it's really important to you. Ask somebody who's doing that, you know? Try any way you can to get your foot in the door, because the more you do that, the more you will learn about yourself, and then the more you'll have a clearer picture of what you want to do by the time you get out of college, and the more selective you will be able to be in your job search instead of just having to take just any job, you know, when you get out of college. Be intentional about your life, and this is like for everything, especially with your friend group or who you date. It's not working out with your boyfriend or girlfriend, break up with them. Don't do that thing where you've just been with them for X amount of years, X amount of months, so you're going to stay together. No. Same thing with friends. If you find that your friend group is not who you want, they're not compatible with you, they're rude to you, they're catty to you, there's an obvious queen bee or whatever, like there's a dynamic that you don't like, fuck it. Leave them. Do not be scared to be alone. You will make new friends. If you're in college, especially, this is true, because this is the last time that you will be in a building with mostly people your age who are in the same place in life as you. Ditch that shit. Don't do that thing where you think that you're stuck in situations. You are never as stuck as you think you are, especially when you're that young and at that stage in your life. You could literally be one person today and you could be one person tomorrow. Literally, you could be one person today and another person within 5 minutes. That was then, this is now. To the extent that you can, you want to be selective and you want to handpick your life. You don't want to just kind of be a log that's adrift at sea. You don't want to just be blowing wherever the wind takes you. You want to be the captain of the ship. You want to be in the driver's seat. Because a life where you're not in the driver's seat is a life that you're going to resent. And when you resent your life, you become depressed and you end up not even having the energy to change your life. Now, life is life. There are always some curveballs it'll throw at you. There are some things that just get handed to you that you don't pick and choose. But the extent that you can, pick and choose. Try your best to be on a path instead of just making temporary moves to get through the day. At the end of the day, you want to be able to look at your life and say, this is a life that I designed. If you do that thing where you take any old job, any old partner, any old friends, your life will be miserable. Desperation is the path to misery. Believe that. And whatever you do, no matter how stressful your life gets, please try to never let go of your passion. Please try to never let go of the stuff you love that makes you you. That's what's going to get you through the hard times. If you let that go, you will become a shell of yourself. And you'll wonder where the hell the years went and why it's been years or months since you last done the things that you love. And if you're in a toxic job and you're in ages 18 to 22, quit that shit. I'm telling you, a toxic job will drain your energy like nothing else. That's energy that you could be using to find a better job. You're young. At that age, no one gives a damn about your employment history. I'm telling you. Now, once you get out of college, it's a different ballgame, or hell, out of, the typical college age. But use your youth to your advantage. Quit. Do not stay in a toxic job and allow them to abuse you. Unless you're in a position where you have, a baby, you have, rent and bills, whatever, you're completely financially supporting yourself. That's different for you. But if you're lucky enough to be living in the dorms or living with your parents or having financial support in some way, do not unnecessarily put yourself through any bullshit at work. You got the rest of your life to do that. And always be meeting new people. Best friends today can be enemies tomorrow. It's always good to be constantly in the process of developing new relationships. Plus, it builds your network, which is something that you're really going to need when you enter the workforce, if you haven't already. Because sadly, in this world, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and who knows you.
I wasted so many of my teen years and a bit of my early 20s agonizing so much over very average friendships. And I wasted so much of my emotional capacity, my just emotional labour that was spent on worrying about whether or not I stood, where I stood with somebody, or worried whether or not they liked me or not, or worried if I was in their good books. I agonised so much over this, and realising now, looking back, I'm like, I would never touch any of those people with a barge pole. I wouldn't go near any friend that made me question where I stood with them now. You know, if anybody makes you feel like that, I'm running. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to agonize over where you stand with somebody. Obviously, this can apply to relationships too, but you should never be using up your emotional capacity at all, really worrying about whether or not somebody is friends with you or not, or whether or not they actually like you. I spent a good chunk of my teens and early 20s, you know, surrounding myself with people who were my friends, not because they particularly liked me, but, you know, wanted to be, wanted to control me or wanted to use me or, I don't know, have me in their life for some ulterior motive that wasn't pure. And I can't believe I wasted so much of my time doing that. And I just think, you know, if you can understand now, especially if you're in your teens or you're in your 20s, you know, if anybody makes you feel negative, bad, feel sick or nervous or anxious around, and they make you feel confused, like, do they like me, do they not, get the fuck away. Because good friends will not make you feel like that. I can categorically say that no good friend is going to make you question where you stand with them. And just know that people will be friends with you not because they like you, but because you give them some kind of benefit in some way. You know, not everybody's genuine, and that was a hard lesson for me to learn. Don't waste it. Don't waste those precious years worrying about people that really don't matter. And I know that's hard to see now, but in the future you'll be like, oh my God, I'm so grateful I didn't spend so much time on them. They sucked. And, you know, you will actually manifest better friends by actually pushing those people away and rejecting those people. No friend should take up that kind of capacity in your life or your emotional space, you know.
No woman under 25 should be in a committed relationship or living with a man. I know that's going to piss a lot of people off, but you need to go live your life. If I say to you, write down 100 things right now of what you want to do, I know some of you could only write down about 10 or 15. And you know the reason for that is because you don't know yourself, because you haven't experienced the world, because your worldview and your mind view is very small. So when you're that young, that is the time for you to go experience life, go travel, go experience the world, go taste different food, go talk to different people, go experience different culture, see different belief, because the world is not as small as the place that you grew up. Go work on yourself. So if you have issues with your mom or your father, go work on yourself. Try to develop your career. Try to know the reason why you want a relationship. Try to learn about love. Just don't hurry up to be in a relationship, because a man is not going to go anywhere. They're going to be right here when you're ready. But at least when you enter a relationship after that, you should know who you are. You should experience life, right? You should know what you want in a relationship. If you want a relationship, your internal power supposed to be built up, right? Your voice is going to be built up for you to ask for what you want. So don't rush into any relationship. Enjoy life, right? And live.
If you're in your early 20s and you're having trouble with the concept of consistency, listen to this. This might comfort you. I saw someone talk about how consistency does not mean that you do something every single day. It literally does not mean that you do something every single week. It just means that you commit to doing something for a long period of time in the increments of time that work for you. Where we mess ourselves up is that we overexert ourselves and overcommit ourselves, and then we burn out really fast, and then we don't end up consistent, and we don't end up winning the long game. Especially when we're starting a new goal, we're like, all right, I'm gonna do this every single day, or I'm gonna do this 4 times a week. Sometimes that's not what will get us there. Sometimes what will get us started is not being so scared by that thing that we're committed to, because we're easing into it. This can be with hobbies, workouts, career stuff. Pace yourself.
I'm 29 years old, and if there is any advice that I can give anybody in their 20s, it's learn how to be a bitch early on. I love being a bitch. And when I say that, I don't mean that I love being mean to people. I don't mean that I love hurting people's feelings. That's not what I mean. I mean, I love doing things that make other people who are emotionally undeveloped call me a bitch. saying no. Saying no and not giving a reason for saying no. Using punctuation at the end of my sentences in professional emails instead of smiley faces or exclamation points. I love going into a store and instead of saying sorry, I say excuse me and I get on by. I love not apologizing for taking up space, showing my true emotions, good or bad. Be a bitch. Be a bitch. Learn how to be a bitch as early as you possibly can. Because by the time you're my age, it will have done you worlds of good.
Okay, biggest lessons I learned in my 20s. Firstly, if things keep coming up repeatedly and you're not receptive to learning them, life will ram them down your throat again and again until you do. Do not surround yourself with cool but judgmental people. Yes, you know who they are in your lives. So they are people that will tell you off for liking things like reality TV, TikTok, pop music, horoscopes, dating apps. Like, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but when someone is sneering at you, God, you're not one of those people who likes X, Y, or Z, are you? I'm telling you now, these people are no fun. They are insecure about their intelligence. If you want to, you can learn from anything. Like, why judge? I'll tell you why. Because they fear people perceiving them, thinking, oh, you like X, Y, or Z equals you're not smart. But that's not you. You're not insecure about that stuff. Okay? Learn to be okay with people not liking you. I think it was Dieter von Teese that said you can be the yummiest, juiciest peach in the whole wide world, and there's always going to be someone out there that doesn't like peaches. Whether they like you or not is none of your business. That's okay. This especially goes out for women of colour. Some people are just not going to like you because you might not have even opened your mouth yet. They will see you and be like, nope. You can't change it. Learn to be okay with it. Put yourself in situations that make you shit scared. I'm not talking about dangerous situations. I'm talking about social situations where you don't know anybody, where you feel self-conscious, where you've got imposter syndrome, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Push through, walk up to a group of people and introduce yourself. Smile, listen loads, ask questions. People are friendlier than you think. Learn how to establish boundaries. So I saw this video recently of Gabrielle Union, who is 50 years old, and she's out here looking like she just graduated from university. Her key to looking so good? Drinking water and boundaries. This applies to friendships, work, relationships. So it's about being clear about your limits, what you will and what you won't stand for, not being a people pleaser or a pushover. Having boundaries creates trust and respect and actually healthier relationships. There is no age range for finding your people. I met some of my best friends at a random festival in my late 20s. So a group of girls getting ready, everyone was really hungover, but they were laughing and joking around. I walked up to them and asked if I could grab a coffee and head into sight with them, and it was one of the best things I ever did. And I found out they lived like 5 minutes away from me in East London, and yeah, don't pull up the drawbridge. It's gonna happen. Let it happen. You're a magnet for good things happening to you. Keep it in mind. Okay, this is such an obvious one, but it took me a while to learn. If there are certain friends or groups of friends that seem to attract drama, but constantly complain about drama, they are probably causing it. So they're the kind of people that might dismiss your dreams and ideas. If you change something about the way you look, they'll say nothing or just won't compliment you. Figure out who these people are in your life sooner than later. Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't live to work. So I used to work with someone who used to say, I haven't been abroad in 2 years, almost like it was a badge of honour. You just have to think, no matter how many pizzas your company buys, or however much they say, oh, you know, we're a family, they ultimately don't give a fuck about you. And when push comes to shove, if things ever went south, you will be out of the door with a pat on the bum, a wave and a see you never. So go on holidays, nurture your relationships, don't break your back, look after your health. Remember, life is short as fuck, work isn't everything. If you don't become the ocean, you'll get seasick every day. It's one of my favourite quotes from Leonard Cohen, yeah, I'm a quote girl. It means life has changed, life is ups and downs, bad things are going to happen to you, good things are going to happen to you. You can't control all the things that are going to happen. In your 20s, get to know yourself, trust yourself at your core, know that no one can offer you refuge, peace and comfort like yourself. So that when you're going through a breakup, getting fired, just like life disappointments, it shouldn't leave you scrambling like, who am I, or what does this mean for my identity? You've created that internal space in your mind to allow for that change. You know, you're going to feel behind sometimes, like everyone out there is hustling harder than you, doing cooler shit, luckier than you, and sometimes they are. But the fact of the matter is your journey's your journey and you don't know what they've got going on. So focus on you, what makes you happy, what you like doing. That's just the most important thing, isn't it? And if you've got any advice for me, send them my way because I'm still learning every day.
If you're in your 20s and you've got everything figured out for yourself, that's amazing, baby. We are so happy for you. And guess what? We are all rooting for you. We love you. And if you're in your 20s and you do not know what to do, like you're completely lost, Guess what? That is completely okay. That is fine because nobody expects you to get your life figured out. Nobody expects you to figure out your life in your 20s. But if you can figure it out in your 20s, that is also fine. But if you cannot, or if you do not know what to do with your life, it's okay with that. But that does not mean you will sit around, do nothing, just sleep, wake up in the morning, completely doing nothing, just being lazy. No, sweetheart, that is not fine. Go out there, go make mistakes, learn, grow, experiment. But be careful the kind of mistakes you make, though. Be careful because you do not want to regret some things when you look back. Because before you know, your 20s will just pass you by. 20s are like the fastest, like the fastest years in your life. 20s are the fastest. So you don't want to sit around doing nothing. You do not want to sit around doing nothing. Just sleep and wake up. Do research, do experiment, travel with that. Solo travel, solo dates. Do not just spend your 20s in relationships. Do not spend your 20s dating and all that, going after people, trying to please people. Use your 20s to discover who you are, find who you are, understand yourself, grow ways that you alone will enjoy. Be you, love yourself, stand up for yourself, build build yourself both spiritually, physically, financially. Build yourself. Your 20s like are the best year of your life. Every other year that comes are the best, but your 20s are fun. You will never be 20 again. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Do not pressure yourself too much. You are going to be fine. You are going to achieve what you're supposed to achieve in life. Just make sure you do not pressure yourself too much. Do not compare yourself to other people. You are not them, they are not you. You are you. You are unique. Nobody can be you. Just make sure you look after yourself. Love yourself. Put yourself first. Like I will say it again. Do not pressure yourself. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. If all your friends or everybody around you or your age mates are all getting something in their 20s and you do not get it in your 20s, that's also fine with that. Just make sure you are growing in maybe other ways. If you though you do not grow in marriage or bearing kids, you can grow other ways also. You will be fine. Trust me, you will be fine. And guess what, baby? We are rooting for you. You will do amazing. You will do amazing things. You do great things. Your 20s are not just the only years of your life. So love yourself, put yourself first. We have come to the end of this video. Do not forget to like the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and drop your thoughts in the comment section. Bye besties. Love you.